Yeah, I've been
So I wouldn't get
I'm not
started.
just like, yeah, just like any group. I don't want to call Hebrew Israelites a group or anything, or label it or any type of way, but like you can take, for instance, Christians. There's all types of Christians. There's Christians that do this, that, and the other. They go to prison. They do this. I mean, everybody's not the same.
Right.
So I try to be open-minded, you know. But I'm very new to this. It's only been like a year. So, yeah.
Oh, so you've been in this knowledge for about a year?
Only a year.
Okay. Who do you study with?
It's I've look on different people's pages on Facebook. Mainly, the person that introduced this to me was somebody I went to high school with, and probably caught back up later with, and they're into it now, and they moved to Egypt, with their significant other, and trying to convince me to move to Egypt with some other. There's just too many things that I'm confused about. And my family has a background in, it's kind of similar. My family has a background in Jehovah's Witness. We got out when I was about 10. I'm about 40 now. So, I mean, it's kind of similar. They don't believe in a lot of different things, and women conducting themselves a certain way, and just different things I find that are very similar. But just different things that I see with Hebrew Israelites that just doesn't make any sense. I don't understand why they argue so much, and why there's such a debate on the name. I don't understand why. Just a lot of different things. I know it might sound petty to some people.
No.
It's just so many debates, and I search different people's pages on Facebook. I don't subscribe. Maybe I don't. They're not my friends on Facebook, but I might go to 10 different people's pages when I get bored or something. 10 different people's pages and read their pages, and none of it just comes together.
No.
And I don't understand that.
Yeah.
Well, it's all about them looking. It's all about them learning in their own. We all learn differently. I might be in one stage in my life learning this knowledge, and you might be another stage. In the beginning, I used to say Yahuwah. In the beginning, I used to say Yahuwah, and then I went to Yahweh, and then I went to. Now I'm saying Yahuwah. And I say Yahuwah. I say Yahuwah again, but it's like you go through stages, and I believe that his name is Yahuwah, but that's just pronunciation. And if someone says his name differently, someone say Ahaya, someone say a Yahweh, I don't consider him not a brother. I don't even argue. We don't need to argue.
Right.
Let everybody learn in their own stage. We're all growing in this, and don't look down on each other. Just have that understanding. It's okay that we're all different. We're still the nation of Israel. Most I didn't call a congregation; he called a nation.
Right.
So I'm okay with us not being.
Aside
because I try to take the good out of it, and I pull different parts out of it, even though I know somebody might be a little off. That may not. I might say to myself, don't sound right. I might pull different parts from it that I think that's right, or in your heart what's wrong and what's not right, and then I go from there. But I try not to say, well, I try not to get too confused, but I'm, we're not stuck on the name, but I'm just saying it's just so much. I've seen so much debating, and I don't understand that. Why don't people come together? And I don't know. I try to stay stuck on it. I just try to pull the good from it. Some people, many are trying to come together. The nation of Israel. If you've seen my the links that I put out on the page about the nation of Israel and about unity. The nation of Israel, basically, we're trying to get the congregations to come together, because we're all Israel, different congregations, trying to get the congregations together and the people under one banner, and we promote unity amongst the congregations. And we know we're not going to agree. We're not trying to make everybody agree to one doctrine. We're not trying to bring up a doctrine. Basically, just acknowledge that we are all a nation of Israel, even though we have different varying beliefs, but we actually have more in common than we don't. Because if you believe in the Torah, you're going to have more in common than not. Yes, I might say his name differently than you, and yes, I may have different variations on how I dress or maybe how I speak, but that doesn't make me less of Nation of Israel, because in Jerusalem a long time ago. They were Sadducees, Pharisees, Ebionites, Nazarites, but yet they were all nation Israel. They didn't all agree on the same doctrine. They had different ways of carrying themselves, and they were okay. They all were nation of Israel still, and they lived amongst each other. And so we can be in unity, we can be at peace if we choose it. So I wouldn't be concerned with if we're disagreeing, because you know what, we're always going to disagree. The problem is, should we separate if we disagree? I say no. Why should we separate? You're still my brother, even if you don't agree, if you don't believe on what I believe.
Yeah, I always think agree to disagree. To see it's so much mess involved. I just it kind of turns you away from you. You're just trying to learn, and you go on people's pages and you just see people. It's just too much at times. You don't want to see all that. I don't want to see. I'm not going to even bring it up.
Right.
But just the things that are brought up. It's just stupid.
I mean, with you being a babe newly into the understanding, that is discouraging to see all the different risks and back and forth, the arguing and over nonsense, because a lot of it is really over nonsense. That's why I was asking, where do you where are you getting grounded at? Because it is important for you to get grounded. Because going this way, steady going from this page, that page, this page, that page, you eventually will walk away from the Most High.
Right.
If you're not getting grounded. And that's another thing that what we need to think about, because we need to bring sisters like her. We have to have some place where they can come and get grounded so they won't walk away from the Most High. Because I have a Facebook page, and I am pretty grounded, but I don't even look at half of that stuff out on Facebook, because it is a lot of foolishness.
I'm on Facebook, but I don't read everybody's page. And I try not to argue with anybody. I look at pictures here and there, but, we don't need to argue. This is not a religion, sister. You've been in this for a year. It's not a religion. We recognize we're Israel, and we're trying to find our way. Some of us are not there all the way, and we are growing in we're learning differently. But you know what, I don't actually belong to any congregation, but I actually want to fellowship. I don't belong to any congregation. I haven't for 6 years, but I used to. And I had a bad experience, and I left, and I'm glad that I took a break from it. But I like the idea of fellowship and being amongst people who try and keep the commandments. I like that idea. But it's important to belong to, or not, I don't want to say belong. You don't belong to anybody but the Most High. Never belong to a congregation. It's always good to fellowship with the congregation. That's fine. Because, it's good to have your children around other people who have fallen away. But this is not a religion. We all acknowledge that we're Hebrew Israelites, and we're falling away. That's in the scriptures. Now, what I wanted to say is that I've been out of the congregation for 6 years, yet I fellowship online with other people, and I find that I agree so much with them who don't belong to the congregation. And I find that shocking, because how is it I agree with 100 people who don't belong in the congregation, and all we're doing is studying the scriptures. We're studying on our own. The Most High is teaching us, and we're just reading the scriptures for as it is, and yet we agree. I find that if you seek truth and you let the Most High teach you, you're going to be on the same page. So I found myself in agreement with so many Hebrews who don't belong in the congregation, and some who do. But I find that I'm in agreement just because I'm actually reading for what it says. I'm not following man, and I'm trying to just seek truth. Sometimes last year, maybe some things I used to believe I don't believe anymore. I'm changing. Wherever I'm wrong, I'm trying to correct that wrong, and I'm growing. And I hope next year I have more wisdom and I grow. And if I have anything that I'm doing right now that's false, I pray that the Most High takes it away, and I can move on and correct it. So next year I might be a little different, but give me space to grow. Let me grow in the Word. Let the Most High clean me. Let Him shape me. I'm His mold. I'm no man's mold.
Yeah, that's where I understand. It's like when you put a name on it, and I try to follow that, then that's when I get more confused. But when I'm reading the Bible, and
I'm just read the Bible,
and praying and all that, that's when there's less confusion. So I don't understand.
Yeah, it's not a religion, so that's the problem. If you think of it as a religion, then you're going to be messed. It's not a religion. We believe that we're the Hebrew Israelites, and we believe we're supposed to follow the Scriptures. Now what you do, follow the Scriptures. We follow the Scriptures, fellowship with those who want to keep the commandments, just don't follow man. You hear what man has to say. Try the spirit is what the Scripture says. Just try the spirit, But I can't wait to start fellowship again with Hebrews who actually are not. Because the congregation I went to had trouble. They were going through things. I separated from them, and I'm so happy I did. But, it's time for me to be near Hebrews who keep the commandments, and I'm not going to shy away from it. But right now I'm in Massachusetts, and there's nobody really around me other than that congregation that keeps the word. And so I am alone with my children for the past 6 years. But that's not a good situation to be in either. We got to gather together. I believe in unity amongst all congregations, even if we don't agree. I'm not saying change doctrine, change what you believe, but we should be at peace with each other, and we should allow each other to grow, and we should fellowship. I mean, we fellowship. We're walking in our daily life with people who don't even keep the commandments, who break commandments left and right, and don't even know the Most High's name. Why can't I talk to someone who actually is trying to follow the way, who has more in common with me, but believes a little bit differently? Well, why wouldn't I fellowship with that person? I don't want to be so narrow-minded and think so highly of myself that I can't fellowship with somebody who doesn't agree on every single thing that I agree with.
Right. And that's another purpose of us coming together with the women ministry is if it's something that you need help with understanding, you have someone that, and I say it's not about a doctrine. It is a way of life. It is a way of life. We are a nation of people, and we have to come together as a nation of people. No, not all of us are going to be up under the same roof because we scattered out through the four winds of the earth. But we have to understand that we are a nation of people. It is important for you to get grounded, to know who you are, in Yah and the Mashiach. It is important to know. It's important to know the laws. So because ignorance is not an excuse. It doesn't excuse you from the Most High having something against you. And if you don't know the laws, because if you come out of being Jehovah's Witness or the church or Islam or whatever, 9 times out of 10 you was not taught the Father's laws. Do you know what laws are still in effect? What laws was done away with? When I say get grounded, those are things I'm talking about. I'm not talking about far as like his name, whether we should move to Israel, whether we should stay and go to the wilderness. I'm saying get grounded so when judgment comes, whenever it comes, when he pull out the Lamb's Book of Life and say, Moriah, this, that, and the other, he won't have so many things against me because I have kept his laws the best that I could. Those that he still tell me that's still in effect that I have to keep. Those are things that you should be getting grounded in to help you understand who you are, because there was laws given to Israel that wasn't given to the world. And you have to know, are you doing something that the Father may have against you because you don't know? Because you don't know. But it's okay to reach out to the most seasoned and ask, where the laws at? What are the laws we're supposed to keep? What are the laws for us, for the nation of Israel? Those are things that I'm talking about when I say get grounded in the Father's word to who you are. Are you keeping the feast? Do you know when the feast time? Do you know when his appointed time is to keep the feast? Do you even understand the purpose of keeping the feast and what each feast is for and what we're memorializing with the feast? That's not doctrine. That's the Father's word.
Mm-hmm.
He said, this is what you have to do for generation to generation. When the Feast of Unleavened come up, do you know what to do for those 7 days? For the Feast of Tabernacles, do you know what that is for the 7 days? Those are things I'm talking about.